Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. So now the S-cam's done, the ABS sensor's done, and the slack adjuster's done. Although I did make a mistake on my S-cam. I found that black, I don't know if it's crucial. There's really no play in there. There's no slop. It just turns left and right. But I did find it. It was behind my thing. Not crucial, but it would have been better, and I believe this one would have been on the outside, so it just kind of hugs the seal so that no grease gets on your shoes. But it's regular lube grease, not like it's anything else. But anyway, so now we're going to clean the hub up. I do these videos not only to help people. There's a lot of videos on wheel hubs on YouTube, and that's how I learned first how to do it. This, like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I don't pretend to be one. But I do videos so I can kind of look back on my channel, and if I ever have to do another hub or a slack adjuster or S-cam, I have it for my own, like my own library. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this old seal out, and we're just going to take a long bar. You can use a regular bar with like a cheater on it, whatever the case is, and you just got to kind of work around it. So I gotta put you on pause. All right, guys, I just want to kind of show you this. So the bigger bar I was using, I even went to my big ass Gorilla bar, but it just wasn't doing. This seal is in there nasty. So I use just a regular little pry bar because it's got the thin edges on it, and she's coming. Just got to get the lip up there, and you have a set of bearings in there, so just you can't be careful. But I just wanted to show you that I need two hands, because when I was using this bar, it was like it was popping on one side and I was seating it with the other. So I'd recommend a small bar like this if you have one. I'll put you on pause. All right, guys, finally. My goodness, that thing was in there nasty. I don't know if that wheel seal would have ever leaked. The way that shit was in there, man. My goodness. I'm sure it would have. I'm just kidding. So anyway, so it's going to be a combination of that small bar and a big Gorilla bar. If you don't have one, you should buy one. So we'll put my bearings to the side again. I don't get any crap in them. And then what you want to do is, this is what's called your raceway or your race, I believe. Inspect that, make sure there's no pitting or cracks or wear marks, whatever. This one looks really good. And then you're going to have to clean off. This is what your ABS sensor reads, all those little ticks. So got to get all this cleaned off. Go ahead, straighten this. Oh, shit. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all clean. Also, another thing you want to do is make sure your axle, so your spindle's all clean, because this right here is your surface area. So that's where the seal's going to go. It's going to butt up to the seal. You want to make sure that that thing is clean. And you're going to want to spray it with, I'm kind of out of breath, man, getting that damn seal off. You're going to want to use this Scotch pad, a new one preferably, for your final finishing. So what I did was I just took a light, quick roundabout, or kind of a quick cleaning with a wire brush. Not crazy. You don't want to wear that thing out. Just kind of get all the big stuff off if you can. Then take a brake cleaner, clean it really well, and then go over it with a Scotch Guard pad and get it nice and clean like that. So that's what we're going to do for the hub. So I'm going to put you guys on pause and get the cleaning. All right, guys, got it all cleaned up. I did have some like pitting inside there. I don't know if that's serious or not. It doesn't. I don't think it's serious. Anyway, so I am putting new bearings in, so I don't have to inspect the old ones. You're going to definitely want to decide whether you're going to do, these are the old ones. They're still in good shape. I'm going to use them for spare on my truck. Sometimes if you're on the road and something goes, they don't always have the parts available. So for the bearings, this is the part number, I believe. Or maybe that one. I think same thing. Then also you're going to need one of these seals. And this is the part number for the seal. Now, I do have one of these seal kits. I don't know who it's made by. But you can find these Amazon, I'm sure. Mine are pretty used. I bought these brand new years ago. So let's see if I can see the name for you guys. Oh, yeah, right there. Nice. Right there. Anyways, these are nice to have, especially if you're doing your own work. So what you want to do is don't forget to put your bearings in first. Like I said, the Raceway is good, or this is it right here, this lip. And this is what it looks like brand new. If it was damaged or whatever, then I'd have to remove it. I'd have to flip the drum over and pound it out. And then definitely make sure your contact area is 100% clean. I did take some sandpaper to this edge. I don't think that's necessary. It's like basically cooked on there. So what you're going to want to do is set your seal in, and then you can basically tap it in. Don't get Gorilla on it, because that's what those plates up there are for, right? But my biggest one doesn't cover the whole seal. And then what you have is you gotta let me put you on pause. All right, guys, so it goes together like that. It just screws into each other. And then you're going to need a BFH. That's a big fucking hammer. This might actually be a little bit too light. I might have to go with my other handheld sludge. So what you want to do is just kind of tap it on. And she's going to want to go in crooked. If she gets a little off, just tap it more on the one side. All right. And then just evenly place her down all the way around. You're going to have to keep hitting it till she seats in there. Now, you could tell the difference of when the seal bottoms out. You can actually tell the difference in the noise. All right. See how we did that? Now she's sitting pretty even. So if I have a crankshaft tool, if this didn't work, then I was going to go to that. I disassembled it because that round piece right there, I think that's a crankshaft tool. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I just know we needed one when we were doing our motor. So you do not want to put any kind of lube or anything in there. You want it to be on that clean surface, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get this seated out, and I'll come back to you and put you on pause. All right, I want you guys to see the difference on the, so I stopped. I want you guys to hear the difference when she bottoms out. Sorry. Did you hear that? She bottomed out. You can definitely hear the different sound now. You hear that? And just for safe measure, you don't want to get too crazy, but you can definitely hear it now. All right, now you feel it, so she's nice and even all the way around. she's definitely seated in there. All right, now we're going to go ahead and lift up the hub. We're going to place it on the spindle, the axle spindle. And I'm going to need 2 hands for that, so I got to put you back on pause. Guys, don't do what I just fucking did. I put the wrong set of bearings, and you can see this is actually the one that's bigger than this one. I got to pull this seal out. You cannot reuse that seal once you pull it out, so I'm going to have to pull it out and put another one in. I'm sorry, but do not make that mistake. All right, that wasn't too bad, probably because it was all cleaned up and new. But you can see where the bearings are sitting in there. They're not, the other ones were all the way down there. I thought something was a little weird when I put them in, but I was just not paying attention doing the video. Do not make that mistake. Put you on pause and put the hub on. All right, guys, so this is, like I said, this is the importance of keeping all this stuff clean. I mean, as clean as you can get it. Because that's where your seal is going to sit. And you don't want that to go onto an area. You can see where so this rubber lip will actually be on top. This is very important. Very, very important, guys. So I can't say it enough. I'll put you back on pause. All right, guys, I'm going to have to say this before. So I pulled it back off because I don't want to have to do a video on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hub on, and then I have to put the spacer on. Make sure your spacer's clean, and it can only go on one way. All right, just like that. And that's the reason why. If you were to put it on wrong, it won't even get all the way in. Great. All right. So, but I have to do that all at one time because I don't want to risk having that seal kind of cock if I let it go and go to the video right away. And then your lock nut, like I explained when I took it off. So when I put the 4-inch hub socket on there, you got to make sure that all this is ready. There we go. Make sure that it's ready, and it's got to be, you can see the tabs actually pop back out. So now I'm all ready to get this thing. So hub, obviously clean first. Hub, spacer, oh shit, I forgot the damn bearings. Hold on. All right, so don't make that mistake. Have everything ready. So hub, spacer, bearings, your lock nut, all right? And that's what you got to do. And try not to move that hub too much in there. Get that thing set right away. Don't let it sit there and kind of, you're going to mess up your seal. So make sure the hub goes on, sleeve, bearings, lock washer or lock nut. All right, I'm going to put you on pause. All right, now I can let it go because I have the spacer in and then the bearings. So that way now she can't, because the hub's heavy, so it's gonna want to go down. Gravity's gonna take control, and you don't want that rubber seal to be popping out of there. All right, so now I can go ahead and put the nut on, and then we'll get to the torque specs. All right, I'm gonna say this while I'm doing it. Make sure she goes on nice and clean. Do not get, if she goes crooked and you're having a hard time getting that nut on, pull it back off, because you do not want to bind up. She should be easy peasy, nice and easy going on there. All right, like I said, if it's really tight and hard to turn, pull it back off and get it restarted. You do not want to cross thread that axle. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my torque wrench. All right, sorry, before I open my home knuckle up. You could take a regular ratchet, not a regular one. You're going to need a special one. You're going to need a real big one for this job, is what she said. And you can see those pins. So I'm going to get, because of that spacer in there, you cannot over tighten this, because the spacer is going to prevent it. I mean, that's a pretty girthy spacer. So, I mean, you're going to want to get as tight as you possibly can on this. And I just want to tell you, so you don't need a torque wrench right now. You're going to take a big big ratchet, and you're going to get this thing as tight as you can. I also forgot to mention, as you're tightening it, every once in a while, rotate your hub. It kind of just helps seat that seal. All right. So once you get it, she starts getting a little snug on you. Go ahead and a couple times. And she shouldn't go just freely, but she shouldn't also be like it's impossible to turn. All right, I'm gonna put you back down. All right, guys. Once I get it tightened, she's still got some turns on the ratchet. So what I'm going to do now, I just wanted that the hub to get pushed back onto that axle spindle. Then that's going to it's in there now. So now I don't really be careful. But now I'm going to take the nut off and the bearings, and I have gear oil in this. And you're going to fill, because so far we probably took about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of that bottle is what drained out into my bucket right there. Oops, grab the bucket. So yeah, maybe a quarter of that bottle, maybe even a third of that bottle. So now your hub's dry, okay? You don't want that. It's going to take a while for that, your differential, your gear oil, to get over to this area to lubricate your bearings and such. So you kind of want to refill it after you tighten it down like that, when she's not going to. So now we're going to back that off, and then I'm going to take my gear oil and I'm going to fill up that hub, and then I'm going to put the bearings back on and the lock nut. You don't have to remove the spacer. All right. All right, guys, I want to show you real quick. So I took a bungee and just kind of held the hub up. And then if you have a magnet, that's the easiest way to get your bearings out, because once you see them in there, but you can see that big gap in there, way underneath there. That's basically where this is, so how much bigger it is. So it's like a little bowl down there. And what you want to do is, you're going to definitely want to get your, darn it, I got to put you on pause. All right, guys, so that's how I do it. I'm sure other people have other ways of doing it. I haven't seen anybody that does a hub oil. Well, I'm sure there are people that fill this up or whatever for the amount that's been lost. So it's nice to have one of these little thin nozzled funnels, and then you just kind of just pop it in there. So I'm gonna get in there with my flashlight. I'll show you guys. All right, guys, so I added about maybe a half a bottle, but you can see down in there, right? The oil. So that's what you want to do. So back in that little tub back there is where you really want to get your oil. So once you start, and I put a rag, I stuff a rag down in here, just so you don't get a lot, because we got to clean this hub as well and put a new gasket on it. So that's how I've done it. So anyways, I'm gonna finish. All right, guys, I cannot move it any further. She's snug in there. I have to get it straight though, where those tabs. Oh, it looks like they're on there. Okay, good. All right, so I can rotate it, but I am going to back it off now. So I've seen certain torque specs at between 200 and 300 pounds, being that this is an older style hub. I want to say don't quote me on this. You have to look up stuff yourself. I don't want anybody thinking I did them wrong by giving them the wrong torque specs. But I'm going to grab my my torque wrench that one of my best brothers gave me to use. Right, Stevie? So they say you're supposed to go 200 foot-pounds and then back it off and then do 50 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and grab my torque wrench and we'll go from there. Hold on. All right, guys, so you got to make sure that those tabs, where that spring clip is right here, you got to make sure that those, because there's a bunch of those circles over there, a circle. You got to make sure that let me get a flashlight or a screwdriver. So right where my screwdriver is hitting, there's a little notch right there on the top and the bottom. All right, and that's what you want. That's your safety net right there. That means that this nut will not work its way off because it's got the pins in it, and that's why that's like that. And you can do it so when you put that the socket on there, it actually folds those clips over like that. So when you put the sock on, or the socket on it, it bends these two tabs forward. So then you could take the nut off and then put it on. And then once you get to your torque specs or however you want to do it, then you got to pull the socket off and then make sure that those little tits are sticking out right there, because you can see a bunch, there's little holes all the way around this thing, and those little tits will line up into one of those holes, and that reassures you that you're all squared away. Now we're going to go ahead and clean the face of this and clean the other face of the axle and put it in. All right, guys, so you want to clean that face really good like that. It takes a while because that gasket's on there pretty good. And then you want to clean the bottom or the inside of your axle plate, this right here, and go over your axle. I just wiped it down with some brake cleaner. And then I was told by an old timer one time that on these paper style gaskets, use silicone. He said that it really prevents the gasket from ripping over time. So I've done that anytime I've done something like this with a paper gasket, and I've never had a problem. So I'm going to continue to do that until I don't, I guess, because I've done it before. So anyway, so then you're going to go ahead and put this in like so. I'm going to put you on pause. All right, guys, couldn't do my camera with, I needed both hands for that axle. And then I put silicone on the outside of the paper gasket all the way around. Takes a little bit of time, not long. Pop your axle back in, and then we put our hardware on, and she is good to go. So anyways, that's a hub. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.